Surprise! This was one of those ideas that looked better on paper, wasn't it? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Silly and Tucker'd podcast. My name's Ethan Tucker.
And I'm Silly Steve.
Oh, we are so glad that you joined us for another great episode here on the podcast world. Whether you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, what else? Oh, Apple Podcast. Is there another one, Steve? There's another one, isn't there?
YouTube, iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. That's right. Yeah.
And I think Amazon Music, maybe.
Amazon Music.
I don't know. It's on a lot of things.
Man, it's on all the things. All the things. We just can't remember them all, but it's on all the things. And so we're so glad that you're listening. And I am excited. We are doing a lot of cool, fun things. There's a lot of things happening in the background that's been amazing.
It's true. It's true. A lot of fun stuff coming up. So
I know. We got
keep
some
your
fun,
eyes
exciting
peeled to the social medias, because there's going to be a lot of cool things happening.
And
especially this summer, because we're starting camp season, Ethan.
Camp season. I'm telling you, I think I just finally got that camera back to the normal angle.
I've been prepping for camps. Have you been getting ready for all of the camps and all the fun things this summer?
You know, I've been prepping for camps in my own way. I've got back to back camps. I think you do as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know when we're going to find time to record during that time, but that's kind of, I think, what makes the podcast great is that we are kind of set up in a way that we kind of can be mobile. And so.
And you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, you never know.
Or where we might be.
Yeah. Our posting schedule will probably change just a little bit, but that's good.
Yeah,
and who knows what surprise guest at camps just jump in, because.
That's right. You never know.
You don't know. So, but yeah. How about you? What you been up to this fine couple weeks?
Just preparing. I got this. This was my last Sunday off until after Thanksgiving. So we've got a gauntlet of a schedule ahead. So I've been preparing new sermons and working on schedules and making new teacher trainings and all kinds of fun stuff. But you know, it's the life we live. It's an awesome life. God's good to us.
I'm telling you, I've been thankful. I know you've been running. You've been running through the month of May pretty back to back. I've had most of May except for one Sunday. I've had off and been able to been home and enjoy being with my family and with my church family and get stuff organized. But I'm ready. Well, as soon as we get to the end of May, that last Sunday in May, everything starts just picking up, and it's a deadhead all the way to November as well. So I get it, man. I'm excited, though. It's going to be a great camp season. I can't wait.
I'm excited. Well, if you're watching this and you're curious as to why we started the podcast in such a weird, awkward way, we actually have a reason, Ethan.
We do.
There's a method to this madness, because tonight we're going to talk about creating a highlight reel moment in your kids' church. Creating moments that are memorable, moments that stick in kids' brains, moments that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. Because that's what I want to do. I know Ethan, kids aren't going to remember every lesson I've ever taught.
That's right.
That's not fathomable.
True. Yeah.
But I hope that they have some memories and some things that I taught them that stick out to them, that they can recall back when they're adults. And they can look back on it with fondness. And maybe it was a moment in their life that they remember that's the night that God changed the whole direction of their lives.
Right.
Do you have something like that? Do you have any memories like when you were in kids' church?
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, when I was young in kids' church, I've talked about them before. I think I've talked about these teachers before on the podcast, but I know everybody. I had someone the other day, side note, tell me that watches the podcast and was like, when are you going to quit doing that? When are you going to quit eating that mic? Or I bumped that mic. And I'm like, I'm going to do it just for you. So, Jake, there you go. That's just for you. I'll shout that out to him for there. I do. I have a good memory. I've talked about these teachers before, but before I started helping out and teaching in children's ministry and kind of got my foot in the door and kind of traveling and all that stuff, before traveling, I know this is going to be hard to believe, Steve, but little Ethan Tucker, not so little right now, but little Ethan Tucker back then did go to Sunday school, did go to children's ministry class and Wednesday night super churches. And so we went, and there were these teachers. Their names were Randy and Shirley Brown.
Yeah.
They live in Austin, Texas now. They moved out there to be with their boys. Their sons work out there, and so they moved out there. But so Randy and Shirley would, on the last, we would teach in months. They would teach a month at a time. And so when the last Sunday that they were going to teach, they would say, we're going to take orders. What do you want from McDonald's? We're making Happy Meals. Do you want chicken nuggets, cheeseburger, hamburger, whatever? They asked, and they would go to McDonald's. And on the last Sunday for our snack, we would have McDonald's Happy Meals. And I'll never forget that memory. I'll also never forget that every sermon, or that they would preach in that class, Brother Randy was going to get in some sort of costume. You didn't know what, but he was going to be in a costume, and she was too. And they were going to have fun, and you were going to laugh your head off. And they were just funny and good at what they did. But I've never forgotten messages. I remember he came in dressed as a pharaoh, and I'll have to. I got a picture a couple weeks ago. It's been more than a couple weeks, but it feels like a couple weeks ago, from Sister Shirley, that Brother Randy, they were getting ready to preach a similar message that they had taught years ago, and it was in their foyer of their home, and he was dressed as Pharaoh in the foyer of their home. I'll have to send it to you so you can insert it into the clip so the people can enjoy those watching on YouTube. But I just remember he dressed up like Pharaoh, and he came in and he told Sister Shirley we were going. It was like we were with Moses going on in this message that they were story they were telling, and he said, "Let my people go," and she's like, "No," they said, "Let my people go," and he's like, "No, I'm not going to let your people go," and stuff. But we made these hats that were paper. It was like a paper band. It said, "Let my people go," and it was on. And then she had bought fabric, and so you'd staple it to the front, and so the fabric would flip backwards. So it was like this, like the fabric was laying this way. And I remember wearing it, and we would walk out of Sunday school and go to service because we do like a Bible class, and then we would go to church. And I remember somewhere else, I'll see if I can find it, and if I can, I'll send it to you, and you can insert it in as well. There's a picture somewhere of little Ethan, and I am sobbing as my friend, Camden Ewry is his name, my friend, was getting the Holy Ghost and really praying, and I've got this hat on, and I think it was like a orange and red striped shirt or something like that, I think, if I remember right. And I'm just sobbing, and I've got my hand on his back, my hand up, and I've got this Pharaoh hat on the back of my head. But I'll never forget that message. I'll never forget what happened. I'll never forget that, and how. And after that, like, they started going to different restaurants. Like, there were some of us that wanted McDonald's, and then one would say, "I want a Whopper from Burger King," or "I want Taco Bell," and they would go on Saturday night and get whatever those kids asked for, and
awesome.
Bring it and warm it up. So that's a great memory. How about you? Do you have any memories that you can remember?
I have some. I remember my earliest Sunday school memories was after I was like 10. So that's when we started going to the church where I got in church. I remember my best friend, his name was Jonathan. He hated doing crafts. And for whatever reason, I really liked doing the craft. I don't know if it was just because I thought I was good at it or whatever. Like I could cut really good. I could put glue everything.
Steve's like, I know how to use scissors.
So I would knock my craft out, and then I would do his for him because he never wanted to. He was like, "Here, you do it." And his mom was our Sunday school teacher, and she was like, "Jonathan, you need to do the craft." And he was like, "Nah, I'll do it. And I would go do his craft for him. So I always did double duty on the craft. So that was kind of fun.
Maybe that's why you really like building props for new sermons and things.
Maybe it all started back then. It was bred into
doing
me.
Jonathan's craft,
just doing the extra craft. But but man, I have so many cool memories. Like I remember going to kids services. I remember like the games we played. I remember there's been so many crazy things, like big memorable moments. Like those things stick out into your head.
Yeah, no doubt.
I remember. I'll tell you this. This is a memorable moment. Man, I wasn't planning on telling this story, but I'm going to. This was while I was in college, so not even as a kid. So memorable moments, they can happen at any age. But we went to a service. We went to a service in downtown Lexington at this little church, and we go in, and we were there. Some of our friends were playing music. It was like a youth service. Mm-hmm. Now this was several years ago. Okay, this was before like current security protocols and things that people have in place, because things could be a lot different nowadays.
And
But
those
we're
things
sitting
really
there.
do matter, y'all. You really should have some sort of plan and security.
Yes.
Let's throw
Yes,
that
for
out there.
sure. And so we're going. Me and my friend, we're sitting on the front row. There's two other young ladies from our church that were there, and then several of our friends were up playing with the band. And the band plays. We have a great worship service, and all of a sudden, like the preacher gets up there to speak. It was a young lady. It was like a youth service. And this younger lady got up there to speak, and right as she got to speak, the doors, boom, they fly open in the back of the church. And this guy comes in with a hoodie on, with a big, huge, like Bowie knife, and he's like, "Everybody down!" And so we're like, dude, scared to death.
How
So
did I
like,
not hear this story before now?
so we're down on the ground, like, and the pastor of the church, this a little old church, little church in downtown Lexington, and the pastor, the bishop, was a older lady, right? So she's down on the floor. She's probably in her 70s, if I remember correctly, and because we were right up there close to her, and she was like, "Follow me, we gotta get out of here." So like literally, we're crawling down the aisle, down the side aisle. This dude's up there. He goes up and grabs the speaker, puts his arm around her neck, and all of a sudden, and like everybody's freaking out, like going crazy. And all of a sudden, the preacher starts preaching, and she says, and she's like, "And this is exactly what blah blah blah," and it was all staged, bro. Bro, I thought I was going to go into cardiac arrest. Like my heart had never been beating so heavy,
I
because
would
I was
never
like,
get invited. I would never
like,
get invited back to a church if I did something like that.
I was like, I am a dead man. And this older, like I felt bad for the bishop of this church. This like 7-year-old lady crawling on her hands and knees, like poor lady. But I'll never forget that night for sure. I can't tell you what the lady
Absolutely.
preached. I think she was trying to scare us all into going to heaven. But who nowadays, I don't think you can get away with that nowadays. There's
No,
too many
not at all.
security guards got those itchy trigger fingers.
Too many people paying attention. Yeah, I'm looking. If I look distracted, I'm not really. I'm listening and talking. I know I have those photos, so I just found one of them, so I put it on my desktop so I could send it to you. I was like, oh yeah, I want to see if I can find that.
But nowadays, you got some old granny in the church who's packing heat in her purse. You better let somebody know if you're going to plan something
Listen,
like that.
I have.
So
I have
what
a
I'm saying
friend-
about with memorable moments, Ethan, we
Yeah.
need to make memorable moments, but we also need to be wise in
Yes,
what
we
kind
do.
of memorable moments we make. Well, hey, I have something I want to show you, and
Okay.
you may have seen some of these before.
Okay.
But I want to get your reaction. These are actual church services. Some of our viewers have probably seen some of these before, but I've
Okay.
got a couple of these videos that I just want to kind of share and
This
get
may
your
become a new
reaction and see
segment,
if
Steve, if you're not careful.
this could become a segment. React to the memorable moment. So
think
let's
so.
let's start with an easy one here.
All
And
right.
see, I'm curious if this has ever happened to you. So let's
Okay, there we go. I can see it now.
show press.
Good music
Clap
too.
your hands. It's kind of my
I at least he's laughing about it. That's an expensive Nord that's been dropped on the ground. I would have a heart attack. I'd be like, "Are you kidding me?" But I'd also be
Just-
like, "Keep going, keep
just
going."
I mean, just drops. Let's see that again. He's got two. Oh,
Like, what is it? Like,
I like how the choir they're like, oh,
just stay with that. Stop that frame. Stop that video for a second. Go back just a little bit.
go back.
Right there. Stop. That guy in the plaid shirt, so the lady in the red dress, she's like shocked. The lady in the red skirt, she don't know what's going on. But the dude in the plaid red and white shirt right there, he's just staring. Like, if you play it, just watch his face when he does it. He's like in the room, and he just doesn't a lot of guys. He's like, it's never happened to me. Luckily, when I've played, it's never happened to me.
So I know of a church here in Kentucky that's happened, and man, if I had that video, I would share it. But I saw their
Man.
piano player was up there, and he was just, it was one of those shouting things, and all of a sudden, the whole piano straight off the front of the platform.
Have you
It's like,
seen
man,
the
you
one?
gotta put some weights on those things.
Have you seen the one where the guy's playing and the keyboard breaks. And when it falls, though, it doesn't fall backwards; it falls forward, and like it hits, and then the piano keys chip off and like fly.
Oh no, that would be horrible though, because
That would be,
you got to
especially
replace
on a
that.
Nord. That's expensive.
All right, check this out. Check this out. Let's see.
It makes me like
this.
hurt,
I
I
love
think.
this video, by the way.
Okay.
I love this video. Let me. And here it comes.
I already know.
That's
I
not
love
the
it too.
video. All right, you ready? Here we go. I love this.
Flowing from your heart, filling every part of our praise.
Poor drummer.
Just like
I like. He tries to power through it first.
he just like keeps pushing it.
On our face with love.
Look at he's playing one-handed, trying to get the tree.
And the fact that she just keeps, he's got the lights involved now.
She looks annoyed. She looks annoyed. Like, why is the drummer like what? Why is he not on beat? Like, come on.
Look, she's got her head going like, why in the world is he not playing? Come
There you
on,
go, brother.
Phil.
You got it. You got it. Nope.
Oh, it is.
A mighty river flowing from your heart, filling every part of
Well,
our
is it gonna stay?
praise.
Is it gonna stay? But no, again, nobody's helping my man.
Okay,
Like,
rewind this just a little bit. I need to give you my commentary. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. Keep going. Keep going. Right there. Right there. Hit play. Watch her hand. Watch her. Look. She's like your presence. But she says rain. We're looking. It's an action song now. We're looking to the sky. It's descending like a cloud. She's like descending. And as soon as she does that, the tree goes.
so Ethan, did you know I used to play drums at my church when I was a kid growing up?
I did. I don't think I really knew it. I think it shocked me when see you open up the floodgates. Mighty river.
She's like rolling her eyes, like, oh, this
Come
band.
on, this guy. Listen, I think I knew you had played the drums. I think you had told me that, but
So
I didn't really like fully comprehend it until I think I saw a video that I think Stacy or a video that Stacy posted. And I saw you
playing
on the
with
drums.
McKinley.
Yeah, playing with
So
McKinley,
used
and I was
to-
like, he plays the drums.
At my church growing up, I was decent. I mean, I wasn't very
Yeah.
good. Actually, there's so many funny stories. The very first time I played, right? So we got a new pastor elected, and because before that we had a drum box. We didn't have a drum set. We had a little box that you push the keys, boom, psh, boom, boom, psh, boom, like that. Like, yeah, I don't know. So, anyways, we got a new pastor,
Steve,
and
don't
he-
make things up. That was just the beginning of Shake It Up, okay? I don't know
No,
why
that's
you
true
were...
story. True story. He wanted a drum set.
Shake
Well,
it
I
up,
had a
shake it
drum
up.
set. I had a drum set at my house, and so I was like, I'll let the church use my drum set, but I've never played like with a band or anything before. But there was a guy at our church that was good, so we're gonna
Yeah.
let him play until he could teach me or whatever. So we get the drums all set up there. Sunday morning, pastor comes down out of his office. He goes and he played the piano. He goes over and gets on the piano, and he like points at me, and he was like, "Go get on the drums." And I was like, "No."
You're like, no.
He's playing, not me. And he's like, "Nope, you're playing. Let's go." And so I go up there, and Ethan, I was trash. Like I'd never played with a band before. I'd never played like a full set before. I could read snare sheet music, but I'd never played like a full set or anything. And so I'm up there. I have no clue what I'm doing. Like I powered through it, and it was horrible. And there's this little old lady in our church, and at the end of the service, she came up to me. Like, love her heart. She's passed away now. Rest in peace.
God bless
But
her.
she came up to me and she like tapped me on the shoulder. She said, "Hopefully you'll get better." I was like, oh, as if I
Gee,
didn't feel
thanks,
terrible
sis.
enough. Like, I know it was trash. Like, even like the 80-year-old elders know it's trash. She called me out hard. But anyways, the lady with her hand in that last video, the first time I moved to Lexington, started going to the church that I attend currently,
Yeah.
the drummer was like, "Hey, you should go play drums." And I was like, "No, that's like, I'm just starting here." And it's like, I'm not that good. And he was like, no, go play. So, and it was the pastor's son. So he was like, "Yeah, Dad said it's fine. Go play." And so I get up there. I was like, all right, I can play. Right. So I get up there to play first Sunday, and they start singing this song, like super fast song. And I come from a country church where we sing everything with a little swing to it, a little southern
Yeah.
swing. Not this church. This is like it was like super upbeat, fast song, and I'm like trying to keep up, and all of a sudden the praise leader, she turns around and she's like, pa, 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 like giving me the hand, like get on the beat, get on the beat.
Like, okay, here, Steve.
And I was like, and I'm done. All right, I got one more for you.
Okay.
Last one, I promise. Okay, because again, I feel like sometimes when things happen, like when something memorable happens at church, I feel like sometimes you got to go help a brother or sister out, right? Like
Yeah.
the piano falls, like you need to be up there running. This
don't
one,
understand-
I really in this video, I worry about the people who just don't seem to care about again my poor little drummer boy. So let's take a look at this one here.
Pum.
Everything's going good. Band sounds good. Got that sweet upright bass. Get into it. Uh-oh. Boom. I mean, destroys this drum kit.
And they just the guy in the middle going away.
I don't know if that person was like praising or if they were like, hey, your drummer's got a concussion. I feel like nobody's helping him. Like the poor guy is there suffering.
He's just unconscious.
But look at the lady in the middle. Like, are she praising Jesus here? Or is she like, oh wait, you guys, hey.
Guys, wait a minute.
They take way too long to see that he's okay because those crosses can be heavy. I know. I've built a few of them.
I'm telling you, that cross is heavy.
I'm just like, why? Like, somebody check on the man. He's concussed.
So, Steve, you said you had one more video for us. Did you have one more?
Well, we did it.
Oh, okay. You're just going to splice that in instead?
I only got 6 hours to cut out. No big deal. All right. How are we going to get this together?
Let's just start fresh right now. Let's just start right now. 35, 50, at 36. Let's just start from the very beginning, and we'll just go all the way through.
Welcome, everyone, to the Silly and
All right,
Tucker'd.
everybody hide. Ready? Hide.
No, we're not doing that for real, are we?
Welcome back. Oh, I don't know. Are we?
No, we're good. I'm making this work. We've had so many issues. The cameras, the mics, the echoes.
So, Steve, you have one more video for us.
Yeah, it is amazing. And here it is now.
Okay.
No, there's no more video.
Just put one of these bloopers in. I got a good blooper reel.
I'll just put me doing this the whole time you were on. Refresh the studio. Refresh your studio.
You got to put some bloopers in here in this episode. We got to have some bloopers. All right.
Hey, you know what? I hope we're creating a memorable moment for you guys. Because that's what we're talking about, is creating memorable moments. Now, the moments in these videos, maybe not the memories that we want to create, but they're memories nonetheless. So in kids ministry, Ethan, we are trying to create moments that kids are going to remember, because we know they're not going to remember every single lesson we've ever taught them. We know that.
Yeah,
but we want them to remember something, to have good memories of us, good memories of our church, good memories of our programming, but also we want them to have memories of their walk with God, and memories of times where they encountered Jesus, memories of times when they got a lesson and it clicked in their head and it made sense, like those are the moments that we're trying to create.
Right, yeah.
And again, kind of a call back to one of our previous episodes is, we look to Jesus as the example, right? He gave us examples on how to do this stuff. Jesus was a master of the surprise method, right? Of creating a memorable moment for people so that they could remember the exact time and place when he moved and when he did something. I'm thinking of, for example, the story, where he's out with his disciples.
Let me read your mind.
Read my mind.
Let me read your mind. He's out with his disciples. He did that a lot, by the way. That could literally be any story.
There was a lot of them.
I'm going to say where he reaches in the fish's mouth and pulls out the gold coin.
Hey,
Did I read your
almost
mind?
almost as if we had a recording meeting.
Boom! Man.
But imagine you're there,
No, yeah.
and he says, we it's time to pay our taxes, and he says, well, just go catch a fish, and reach inside the mouth, and you pull out a coin, like
Yeah.
surprise, like that's something
Yeah.
you're never going to forget.
No, you wouldn't forget that at all. But
Like,
I also think about it this way: all the things that Jesus did and the disciples saw, a lot of it was like you were not going to forget it. It was very memorable. It was a memorable moment.
yeah, which is one reason they wrote it down for us,
Right.
because it was so memorable. They're like, I've got to write this down.
Yeah.
Like
People got to know.
he was literally walking on the water.
Yeah.
Like
He
he put
calmed
mud
the
in the dude's
storm.
eyes.
Yeah.
And he could see, like, we got to write this stuff down because these are memories. And so Jesus created all these amazing memories for people. And that's what we have to do too. Or that's what we strive to do anyways.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't perform miracles.
Yes,
We can't
true.
walk on water. But we can try to do something cool in our classes that our kids are going to be like, bro, you remember that time that Ethan came into class and he threw a pie and hit sister so-and-so, like, or, whatever. I don't know. Have you ever done that? Have you ever thrown a pie at somebody?
I have not thrown a pie at somebody. I have not. But I am
should
big.
do it.
I am big. I
Create a
should.
memory.
I should. I am big. I am big on when teaching, playing to the five kings, the five senses.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget a story that was told to me, talking about memorable moments. I remember by our good friends, Brother Bruce and Sister Jamie Borlick. Man, they were doing a teacher training thing back then. It's called INF, investing in futures. And so I went down to their class, and she started telling a story about a baker, and all of a sudden you started smelling bread, and she had a bread maker behind their puppet stage, and she was making a loaf of bread, so you could smell
Nice.
it as you were. It was so good, so good.
Smells are tied to memory. So
They are.
that's
They are.
something you can do. So
Something you can
what
do.
in your lesson can you have the smell?
Yeah.
Right. That's a good thought. I'm going to have to work on that.
Yeah.
But
Sin
another
stinks.
thing, yeah, sin stinks. Yeah, bring in some sardines and
Yeah.
old onions and mustard and let the kids smell that.
That would do it.
That's what God smells when you sin. I don't know.
It'd be a memorable moment. You wouldn't forget.
That's
it.
right. That's right. But I was thinking about other memorable moments
Yeah.
that we can create for our kids, and some of them we can create, but there's some moments that God does. Obviously, in what we do, we get to see kids come to an altar. Every weekend, we're doing altar calls. And we have kids up, and they're crying, and they're some of these kids are experiencing that for the very first time. And I remember the first time I went to an apostolic altar. I remember exactly where I was. I tell that story a lot because I remember exactly where I stood. I remember exactly, who was praying with me. I remember how it felt because that was the first time I'd ever encountered God, like in a personal way, like I'd heard about him and people taught about him, but that's the first time I felt him and knew how real he
Right.
was. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, those times, if we can create altar experiences and we give time for that and push towards that, obviously those are going to be moments that kids are going to remember. But then there's also, I've found just in the last couple years, and I didn't do this when I started, but I found in the last couple years, sharing my personal testimony with kids really creates a memorable moment, because I think what it does is it brings me, now I'm just using me as an example, but any speaker, it brings me from up here on this pedestal, on this, that's the man they brought in to preach. He's the evangelist, he's the whatever, and what it does is when you share your personal testimony, it brings you right down to where they are. It's like, hey, this is what happened to me. Like I was a kid just like you, and I had these problems, and I dealt with these things, and I had this kind of stuff going on in my life. But when I encountered Jesus, he changed that.
Yeah.
And so I started recently in the last few years sharing my personal testimony about things that have happened in my life and different things I've had to go through, deal with. And I have found that it has brought me so much closer to a lot of kids.
Right. Yeah.
Because they can see themselves in me.
Yeah.
They can see themselves and like, oh, he understands what I'm going through right now
Right.
because I'm going through it. And like kids will come up and tell me things, and I'm like, some of them are like heartbreaking, bro. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, like they're dealing with this, they're dealing with this loss, and they're,
Right.
this terrible thing's going on in their life. But because you shared your testimony, they felt like sharing theirs, and they felt, it's amazing how God can use your testimony as a
So
point
true.
to make a memorable moment
Yeah.
for a kid, and the kid can remember that and like, I remember
Right.
when Brother Steve told that story, because that's the moment it clicked in my head that God can change my direction too,
Right.
and God
Yeah.
can change my path in life too.
Yeah.
So I think those are great things that you can do as a teacher.
Yeah.
Like I think you should share your testimony with your kids, even if
Yeah.
even if it's bad, even if you
Yeah.
did a lot of terrible things. Now, obviously, don't go into detail,
Right. Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah. Make
you
it
don't have to get into
kid-friendly.
detail on every nit and gritty thing you ever did,
Yeah.
but
Right. Right.
but your kids should know, like, hey, God changed you.
Yeah.
God took you from this and put you here,
Yeah.
and He can do the same thing for them.
Right.
And if you have an amazing testimony of being kept from all those things, that needs
a
to be
great
shared
thing
too,
too.
because
Yeah.
God is an amazing God, and that's just as big of a testimony as
Yes,
someone
he
who
is.
came up out of a mess of miry clay, as they used to say.
Yeah.
But sharing your testimony, I think, is a great way to build a memorable moment with you and a kid.
Yeah.
And again, just creating the moments, because we want these kids to remember us in a positive way, remember the church in a positive way, but most
Exactly.
importantly, have that positive relationship with God that they can take throughout their entire life's journey.
Right. And you're making highlight reels for them to know
Right.
that's what you're doing. That's what you're talking about, Steve, is making highlight reels for them to remember. And I started preaching. I think I told you this. I don't know if you've seen this one. I think you have. I think you've seen me preach this before. But I preached it the last place I preached it, Indiana. I think I preached it Indiana Camp last. Is where I preached it last. And I preached about just told a little bit about my testimony at school, going from a private Christian school that, yeah, we'll leave it at that, and going homeschooled and just that kind of whole thing. And so, but I talked about some issues and some things that I felt and went through, and man, that message is one of the hardest messages for me to preach, but
Yeah.
it is also one that is so powerful. And it's not just because it's your testimony. You're going to overcome the enemy, right? By what? The blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Everybody's got a testimony. And so it's so true. You gotta share it in a kid-friendly way. And because we want to make those highlight reels. We want them to know that our God that we serve and that we love, number one, loves them, and number two,
Right.
can take anything and turn it around. And here's a great thing, Steve. Nobody has the same testimony. So no highlight reel is the same.
Right.
It's all going to be different in a good way.
And I wrote this down. Because I was thinking, like, okay, so we're talking about creating memorable moments. Well, how do we do that? Right? As a
How do you
teacher,
do it?
as an evangelist, as a whatever it is that you are, how do we do that? Well, number one, obviously, is all goes back to preparation. But I wrote this down. Don't just plan on what you're going to say, but plan on what you want them to remember.
That's so good.
So
That's
when you're looking at your lesson, so if you're using a curriculum for Sunday school, or if you're just writing your own lessons, however it is that you do normally, when you look at that lesson, don't just look at the information. The information is important, right? You got to know the story. You got to know, right, that David was a boy, and then he had 5 smooth stones, and he got a slingshot, and you got to know the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
But getting every detail of the story across to the kids is not as important as figuring out what that memorable moment is going to be.
Right, absolutely.
What's the memorable moment? And it could be different. So let's say you're telling that story, and you really want these kids to understand that just because you're a kid doesn't mean that you can't be used by God, right? So that's going to be your memorable moment.
Yeah.
So what can you do as a teacher to make that memorable moment? To what can I do to help them? Because this is the point I want them to remember. So I don't know, like just spitballing here. I mean, if it's I don't know, you bring in some giant slingshot or whatever. Like you can bring in a prop that's memorable to tie
Right.
it back to what you're doing so they can remember
Or
that prop. Or
or a costume, dress up and act it out. Get some people
right.
to help you out. They don't have to necessarily want to teach Sunday school all the time, but just say, hey, I need you to do this. I'll tell you another memorable moment, Steve, that I had talking about props. We got a phone call from Jesus one night in our Wednesday night message. An iPhone rang and it said Jesus on it in the contact. And we got to talk to Jesus on speaker. And it was the most memorable thing that I remember. And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't in kids class. I was a new 12-year-old that had just moved into the youth group when that happened. And it was
Yeah.
because somebody changed the phone number of a friend in the church that said, yeah, I'll call him and read this script to you for this lesson,
Yeah.
read it to you and answer these, answer whatever the questions you're going to
That's cool.
ask.
That's cool.
So you
Again,
got to
just
do
creating
props,
that memorable
costumes,
moment.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's like me and you like to do magic tricks. Like
Yeah.
magic tricks create memorable moments because it's
They
just that
do.
little bit of a mystery, a little bit of a surprise element, right?
Right.
Any kind of an element of surprise, something that's not normal. If you teach your class the same way every single week, and you take attendance, and you do this, and you do this, and you do everything the exact same, that eventually is going to get
Right.
dull, right? It's
Right.
going to get boring. Dare I say boring? But if you throw in something, then just all of a sudden, instead of going on to doing your
Yeah.
memory verse on the board, all of a sudden you turn around and shout, and somebody comes in the room, and you start acting out a battle scene or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just that element of surprise. Those kids are
Yeah.
going to remember that forever,
Yeah.
right? And then when you make your point, like when you get down to teaching them, like, hey, this, and this at the end of that lesson, like they're going to remember that because they're like, bro, you remember that time that Brother Ethan just
Yeah.
barged into our class and started throwing snowballs or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
just talking randomly, but just creating an element of surprise. Now I want to go throw snowballs,
I know.
except it's
Hey,
May and it's not going to snow. But
Steve, you started making a memorable moment about snowballs. Let me share this one with you because we've been sharing stories all night tonight. So let me share this one with you real quick. I was teaching a lesson about baggage one night, and so I had all these suitcases everywhere. And sometimes when you want to create a memorable moment, nobody else needs to know. And sometimes I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think that some of the best memorable moments happen on the fly. You're prepared, but
Yeah.
sometimes you see something you did what you prepared for, but you just something happened. So there's a big
Yeah.
door in the room to the outside, and I was talking about how you got to get rid of sin. You got to get rid of that baggage of sin that you've been carrying. All those extra bags you're trying to carry with you. You got to get rid of them. And so I walked over to that door, and I stuck that suitcase there, and I opened that door up, and I kicked that suitcase out of the sanctuary, and all of those kids in that room when I did that was going. And we had one boy that came up after the service and said, Brother Ethan. I said, yeah, what's going on, man? He goes, you are the suitcase ninja. And I said, well, what did you, I started laughing. I said, what did you learn tonight? And he goes, that I got to get rid of sin no matter what. I got to kick sin to the curb. And I was like,
Yeah.
there it is. There's the memorable moment.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what we're talking about tonight.
And he'll remember that.
Creating
He'll be
those
like,
moments.
remember that
He'll
time
remember it.
Ethan just kicked that stuff out the door?
Do you remember when he kicked that? When he
Broke his
drop
mom's
kicked that
suitcase?
out? Yeah. And I actually ended up breaking it. I had to buy my mom. It was my mom's suitcase. I had to buy a new carry-on for her. But it was worth it. It was worth it if they remember what was taught.
But yeah, that's exactly. So,
Yeah.
listeners, viewers, all you people out there, I implore you, I beg of you, I what's another word I'm looking for, Ethan?
You said begging them, imploring them.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're asking you. We're pleading with you.
I'm pleading with you. There it is.
Pleading with you.
All you viewers out there, I'm pleading with you.
We're
When
pleading
you're
with you.
preparing your classes, when you're preparing whatever it is that you do. Again, I always say this because I know we have some Sunday school teachers that listen. We have children's evangelists that listen. We have some just pastors that listen. Hey, listen,
Right.
pastor, you want people to remember your sermons? Make them memorable, but add
Use
memorable
props, man.
moments in there.
Come on, man.
Use
Yeah.
props. Just randomly kick someone.
Have
No, don't
have
kick
somebody
someone. Kick
with a-
somebody.
Have somebody with a Bowie knife jump out and
Don't
try
do
to
that.
Sure.
Don't do that. Especially at my church nowadays, because I know there's some grannies that have pistols in their purses, and it wouldn't be good for anyone. But make it a goal to make your class, your lesson, your sermons memorable.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Make it.
if you do this your whole life and kids just don't remember you because you were just blah,
Yeah.
then what have you done?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, you filled a spot, you filled a role, but how much more can you do if you make it memorable so that kids remember you and say, man, I remember that teacher. I remember that
Right,
preacher.
yeah.
I remember
real.
that person because they made an impact on my life because of that message, that lesson, that whatever that they taught.
Yeah.
So we're asking you just to take some extra time this week. Take some extra time and pray as you're preparing and say, God, help me to make this memorable for the kids that are in my class. Help me make this memorable for the students that are in my class. Help me make this memorable for the constituents and the people that are coming to hear me preach this week. Because God, I want to do my very best to do what you've called me to do, and that's to reach people with the gospel. Amen.
So good. Amen.
Musicians come.
Yeah, please come, musician. Maybe not that drummer. He might need to still be in the hospital after.
Yeah, that poor drummer. He's concussed.
He was take up that cross.
Don't let
and
him
follow
go to
me,
sleep. Okay?
Literally.
Oh, he took up his cross, all right.
Oh, he took it up all right.
Well, Ethan, man, it's been good talking to you tonight.
Man,
I know
absolutely.
we've had so many hiccups and technical issues, and this episode's not going to be nearly as long as it currently is because we're going to have to edit out a lot of
Cue the blooper
technical
reel.
stuff. But man, it's been good. It's been good. Ethan, make this summerable a memorable one.
Hey, I'm going to. You do the same.
When you
my
preach
friend.
when you preach to the kids at your camps, give them moments that they're going to remember for the rest of their
I'm
lives.
gonna do my best. You do the same. You do
I
the
will.
same.
I
I
will.
can't wait to
And
hear
you.
about all the great memorable moments.
And
hey,
person out there watching,
right there, you right there.
make it memorable, would you?
Make it, yeah,
Make it memorable.
do it.
Thank you so much for watching. Ethan, we love our viewers.
We
love
love
our listeners.
They're awesome.
We really do. We don't know all of them. I'd love
We
for you
don't.
to reach out to us. We have a few that send us emails sometimes and shoot us a quick little message. But man, we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear. Is there something, a topic that you want us to talk about? Is there something you wanna know about us? Let us know.
Hey.
Shoot us an email. You can send it to us right here at sillyandtuckered@gmail.com. Or any of our social medias. We're on Facebook or on Instagram, all the things. Just reach out to us. Shoot us a comment right here on YouTube if you're watching. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
But Ethan,
Hey.
until next time, my friend,
Till next time, my friend.
I'm signing off.
Sign
Feel very patriotic when
I
we do
know.
that.
Should have been with my right hand.
I salute you,
apologize.
sir.
I
We
salute
both
you.
did it with our left hand.
I salute you.
And
Cut.